Alright, what's up, y'all? Good morning, all you young boys, man. Today, I just want to talk about what branch of the military should you join. Now, me personally, I chose the Air Force. Hey, I know Air Force jokes are going to come out, but it's alright with me. One of the main reasons I joined, I wanted a technical job, I wanted a desk job. I wanted somewhere I'd be out of the sun and just be on my computer all day so I could do certs, I could research stuff, and I would have good job skills for when I got out. So, Chair Force jokes go on ahead. That's why I joined personally. And honestly, it's a better quality of living, in my opinion. But Air Force ain't for everybody, man. A lot of people hate that. I've I've known like two or three younger guys who came in, like 19-year-olds right now. They're like, man, I did want to join the Marines, but everyone talked me out of it. I'm like, why would you want to join the Marines? Because, bro, being a Marine is like, they wanted that. They wanted like that life goal of just, hey, I'm a Marine. I understand my life was going to suck for like 4 years, and I was probably going to hate it and get out, but still, I wanted to be a Marine, man, just because, like, they felt like it was like, a challenge. They wanted to do it, but thankfully their parents talked them out of it and was like, hey, man, don't join the Marines. I mean, some people have to do it, and like, shouts out to the Marines who do. They're like, hey, join this, get some technical skills, and then if you do decide to get out, you can have a job. Because not everyone gets a job. You can't get the same jobs in the Marines. Like, I know a Marine who was in cyber. He was my friend who from high school. He graduated. He joined way before I did. He joined at like 19. He got out when he was 23. He joined the Marine. He was an IT person for the Marines. I don't know what Marine cyber is, but I know he was fixing printers, doing all that stuff. He was telling me about it. He was one of the first people I knew personally who was in the military. He was like, yeah, boot camp sucked for them. He was stationed in Japan. He was like, he liked it over there, but he was gonna get out. So if you want to be in like sort of a real military role, because that's what most people think about when they think of the real military, Marines, just marching every day, working out all the time, a real structured branch, join the Marines. Not saying the Air Force isn't structured, but it's definitely not like that. I work with a lot of retired Marines who are like contractors and civilians. They're like, yeah, bro, I probably would have joined the Air Force had I known it was like this, because it was just so. We're just way more chill than they are. And my nephew, he's in the Army right now, and he likes it. Okay, Army I think is the biggest branch. They have, I would say, the most opportunities for certain things. If you can get a good job in the Army and you want to join that, especially if you don't have like the highest ASVAB score. I know right now they're taking like a 22. I think the lowest I've seen them take is a 15. You'd be infantry, but if you just want to get into the military, let's say you're stuck in a crappy hometown or something like that, or man, the economy's kicking your ass right now, I would still do it. Get out in 4 years, use your GI Bill. Honestly, you use TA while you're in. Most people don't do that, bro. Use your TA while you're in. I'm using my TA right now, so I got my GI Bill when I get out. I'm probably gonna use my TA up into my master's. And if I want to get out and get a separate like bachelor's or master's degree, I'll use my TA for that. Like, I'm not just gonna keep. Don't wait until you get out to use your GI Bill, bro. Use your TA while you're in. But anyway, Army, Marines, combat heavy jobs, infantry jobs. Army probably has the most opportunities for the most things because it's the biggest branch. I'm pretty sure they are. If you really want a combat job, if Coast Guard. I think Coast Guard is the most combat heavy job, and they do real life stuff, search and rescue. They fight pirates all day, basically. Drug smugglers, sex traffickers, pirates, essentially, from coming into the country and are like, they go to Hawaii, they go to Alaska. Obviously defend the homeland. They're part of Homeland Defense. You can take tours out to like Japan and stuff like that. Like, Coast Guard probably fights the most out of anyone if you really want a combat job. Like, you're not trying to be out there in the middle of the jungle of Vietnam, or you're not trying to be out there in the desert or whatever, but you're trying to like defend the homeland and like just actually fight off people, do search and rescue. Join the Coast Guard, bro. Next up would probably be Navy, because we're talking about Marines, Coast Guard, Navy. They're they travel the most, I'm pretty sure. The one girl I know, she's gonna join the Navy in a few months. She said that was the main reason she wanted to travel and things like that. One of my cousins is in the Navy. I haven't talked to her in a minute, but she's fine. She sort of likes it. She's medical, so I just don't want to be on a ship all day, but if you're like a real traveling person, you can save a lot of money in the Navy because like you're probably not going to be spending much money out there on the ship. But also, you can travel the most. So, if you want to join the Navy, do that. You want to get that traveling. Honestly, I don't know how to swim. I know they teach you, but I didn't really want to learn all that. Plus, I don't want to be on a ship. That would honestly anger me because I'm pretty sure you don't get your own room on the ship. But y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I think you have to share a room with like 4 or 5 other people. Maybe that was the old carriers. Maybe the new ships are way better. I don't know. But I just would not want to be on the ship all day, especially if you get a sucky job, because you do have to scrub the deck. Like, they do make people do that. Because, like, I know one civilian guy who was prior Navy. He was like, yeah, he came in with no job. He was scrubbing the deck for like 2 or 3 years, cleaning the toilets, doing whatever they needed him to do. Because, like, hey, he's one of the few sailors on the boat without a job. So, hey, you clean up all day. Someone has to do it. And, yeah, personally, if you want to travel the most, go for Navy. If you want to save a lot of money, because we all get paid the exact same. Most of us, sometimes you can get higher pay for certain things, but most of us get paid the exact same. If you want to save the most money, go with the Navy. Next up, let's go with Space Force. Space Force, they're under the Department of the Air Force. They're basically all cyber jobs. So, all cyber, what is they called? It's not infrastructure. What is it? All cyber jobs and intel jobs. That's basically mostly what they have, and they supplement everything else with like Air Force people. So admin, security forces, things like that. They're the other people who go to Space Force bases. I would have gone Space Force as well, because like that's what my recruiter was telling me. Hey, you could probably go Space Force too, because you're already trying to join cyber. I was like, cool, but which one leaves first? She was like, oh, the Air Force job. I'm joining the Air Force. But I possibly could have joined Space Force as well. Like, I don't have any problems with that. But that's because I want a technical desk job. So when I get out, and also, it's easier to do school while you have one of these desk jobs. Admin, personnel, cyber. I don't know about medical because, like, you're moving all day. Maybe you're like one of those people who sits at the desk all day. If your day's not too busy, maybe you can finesse some school while you're in there. But, like, with my job, we have like a bunch of downtime, so I can do school, certs, whatever I really need to. Scroll the internet, watch YouTube. Yeah, I can do that all day. And that's probably mostly intel people, admin people, personnelists. But I would join Space Force as well. I don't know too much about them. They're still a pretty new branch, but I know they're mostly cyber and intel jobs. So it all depends on what you want to do for your 4 years and what you want to do when you get out. Where is this guy about to go? Let me just clip this to my shirt so I can move out of here. Okay, they're not coming over. That's cool. But yeah, I would, obviously my top choice, because I'm already in it, Air Force, Space Force. Next, I'd probably go Army. After Army, I would go Navy. Then Coast Guard, then Marines. I don't think I'm forgetting any branches except for like the reservists and the guard. If you want to go guard and reserve, I'd say do it. Just because you probably just want free school. That's probably what you want, because they don't even get the same retirement as us. You probably want cheap-ish healthcare, because I think you can still use the cheaper healthcare that the Air Force or whatever military branch provides you. It all just depends, and I know they have some good sign-on bonuses. Like, I know the California Air National Guard, I'm pretty sure they have like a $75K sign-on bonus. Like, one of the guys from Cali was telling me about that. He was like, yeah, he's doing his 4 years getting out of this, and he's going to join the Guard. And he's probably going to try to go active Guard or whatever, active Guard or reserve, and keep just staying in California. He keeps doing these re-sign bonuses for $75K. And I was like, dang, you got to figure it out, bro. Cool. But yeah, if you're young, I'd just go active, to be honest with you. And you can get to guard after, because it's easier to go from active to guard, because they pretty much always accept you, than to go from guard or reserve to active. Because, like, there's a lot more involved. You're technically prior service, and they might not want to pick you up. So I would personally just, from 18 to like maybe 22, 24, I'd say just join active. Get out of your hometown if you want to, move around, see the world a little bit, meet different people. You're gonna meet up bunch of different people. I'd never think I'd meet half the people I met, especially being in this city randomly in the USA. Yeah, I never thought I'd do this at 18. So that's just my opinion on which ones you should join. Combat focused, you should really check out the Coast Guard if you really want to be in the middle of the action. But if you want to be like big scale battles, obviously Army, a small task force, maybe Marines, Army Marines, go there. You want to travel the most? Go with the Coast Guard. If not the Coast Guard, the Navy. If you want to travel the most, go with the Navy. If you want the probably better quality of life and the almost surefire, not surefire anymore because of Doge, but surefire way to get a job that pays high when you get out, I'd say Space Force, Air Force. Get the technical training, get the technical job. I think it has a better quality of life. Even if you don't want to do a technical desk job, get a trade while you're in, man. Go with trucking. I think you get your CDL while you're in. I know you can do all the HVAC stuff. You can be civil engineering. I know that you can get the electrician work because you can work on the planes as an electrician. You're certified as an electrician. I know you can do plumbing in the Air Force. HVAC, plumbing, electrician work. Bro, do those at 18, get out at 22, and start. I think you'll be a journeyman by then. So you can have your own company or work for a bigger company and have 4 years experience. Getting the trucking while you're in. Getting the medical while you're in. Have them pay for your RN. Have them pay for everything that you do while you're in. So nurses are making bank right now, especially because some of the hospitals are shutting down. Move to like one of these travel nurse places and, bro, just make bank when you get out. But yeah, don't just join. Don't join, get a dead-end job like the job that you had on the outside. I know someone has to do those jobs, but only do that if you plan on staying 20 years. Like, 20-year infantry, go on ahead. You're going to be in for 20 years. You really don't need much when you get out, so yeah. But that's just my opinions. So, thanks you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Mostly subscribe. We're on the road to 1K right now. Subscriptions are my focus. After I get to 1K subs, views will be my focus. So, yeah, thanks, guys.